leaving things.
What? What?
Leaving things.
What? What? So what this young lady is saying in this Instagram video, she says, Mormon me, realizing Hebrews 1, verses 1 and 2 says, we no longer need prophets because Christ came. Well, let's look at Hebrews 1, chapters 1 and 2. Got my Bible here, King James Version I'll be reading today, which says, God, who at sundry times and in divers manners speak in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Now, those verses in Hebrews 1 do not say what you think it says. If Hebrews 1, verses 1 and 2 is properly interpreted the way you are claiming, then you, young lady, need to rip out approximately 48% of your New Testament and throw it in the trash. You see, what you're really talking about here is the cessation of post-ascension revelation, positing that the claim of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that God continues to speak through prophets even today is false, because you think Hebrews 1 verses 1 and 2 says, because Christ came, we don't need any more prophets. Therefore, before Christ, prophets. After Christ, no prophets, right? Wrong. Do you know who came after Christ? The Apostle Paul. Remember that 48% I mentioned earlier? Yeah, that Paul. But Zeke, Hebrews says prophets, not apostles. You know what? I'm glad I brought that up, because you see, the thing about languages is that in one particular language, such as Hebrew, and another language like Greek, present two different words with the same meaning. For example, let's use the definition one who is sent, or a covenantal messenger. The Hebrew word for this is navi, with the English translation being prophet. The Greek word for this same definition is apostolos, with the English translation being apostle, meaning the biblical words prophet and apostle have the same meaning, same thing, which means this apostate interpretation of Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 and 2 that you apply to Joseph Smith and all the apostles and prophets in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints after him must be applied to the apostle Paul, also came after the ascension of Jesus Christ. On top of all that, do you know what historical reality also shows us? The Greek manuscripts of the New Testament were also written after Jesus Christ. In fact, many years after Jesus Christ. But let's continue with the book of Hebrews itself. The earliest manuscript to include Hebrews, Papyrus P46, dates to 175 to 225 AD, around that time. Not only was it written many years after Jesus Christ, but we don't even know who wrote the book of Hebrews. But to consistently apply your interpretation, even if the unknown author of Hebrews was an apostle, well, I guess by your standard, he couldn't be. We need to throw it out. Well, I say throw out because I'm assuming you would probably say any scripture written by any so-called prophet today should be thrown out, correct? what you actually did in this video was read into the text your own theological presupposition that the biblical text do not support. Don't do that.